you're going to have a much harder time trying to position yourself for sprints, for attacks, to respond to attacks, more importantly, and to manage the race. So that's what this time's for right here. We got about 10 minutes of warm-up, and I want everyone to really focus on that. Go forward, drift back, try and hold your position as you see people coming around, small accelerations, small decelerations. You know, take some time to practice that. See what it takes to just maintain, see what it takes to go forward, and see what it takes to go back. So I'm going to be nice and steady here right around this 1.5, so feel free to move back and forth, but try not to go too far off the front or off the back. So B-Bunny, I see you up at a 2.8. Don't worry about 2.8. We're not chasing anyone up there. They're going to come back to us.
I was just moving around.
Okay. All right, so do we have anybody from anywhere extremely exotic tonight?
From Texas.
Chris, that's not exotic. You keep bringing that up as exotic. It's just not. I'm sorry.
How about the Florida Keys, Coach?
I mean, it'd be exotic if I hadn't lived there.
Well, it's no longer exotic because you live here.
Australia's a little more exotic.
Oh, good night, mate.
Far flung. All right, so let's try and bunch it up a little bit. Seth, if you can drag your group up. You guys are just off the back. Celia Marie, if you can slow your group down.
Iowa's as far from exotic as possible.
Well, it depends. If you're working with the Diamond Bike crew, that's fairly exotic. That's something different.
Nope.
Well, sorry. All right, so we got a small split here. So Chris, Seth, and I will pull this group back together. So this is one of those bad positioning things. If you get out of position, you get a gap. Here's what happens. The Toledo Torpedo's on watching. What's going on there, Adam? Adam's had a lot of good success lately in his races, his IRL races. A couple podiums and a couple races. Pretty good kick, still working on his timing, but damn impressive.
Nice work.
All right, I think we're as much together as we're going to be. Dickie, you're a bit ahead of us, so just keep it nice and easy. We'll catch on to you. But we got a few, Hageman and those up the road, they're going to be off the front of the group. All right, so we got 5 more minutes. I'm going to type out what we're doing to the group, and then we'll talk a little bit more in depth as we go. All right, so as we go on, our first climb is really going to be the KOM that we're going to go up. We'll obviously get there ahead of time. So for those of you who are back with me, let's try and pick it up a little bit so we can close down on that front group again. We got a little strung out. think we're doing a fairly good job. Vicky's with me, good. And this is one of the things we're going to talk about when we talk about our accelerations and when we attack and how we attack. So you notice just on that small change in inclination, much more of a declination in this case, that 3-second gap turned into 5 instantly, and they didn't even increase what they were doing. It's just gravity. And by the time we got onto it, they already put a gap into us. So let's close this gap down a little bit. Should be a fairly easy close. We're almost onto the back of it. And I know front group, you guys are not really hammering the pace at all. It's just, that's the nature of getting strung out on hills. All right, our first steady state climbing is going to be at the KOM. We're going to go up it in stages. I'm going to want everyone to go at a 2.0 at the base of it once we get there and start the KOM. And then once we get about halfway up, and I'll tell us when, we're going to lift it to 2.5. I don't want any big gear changes. Maybe stepping it up 1, or just picking up your RPMs. A lot of times if you pick up your cadence, you'll be able to meet that goal of just lifting the power a little bit. So it's going to be difficult for everyone to stay at that 2.0, but I really ask you to try and do it because I want to keep everyone together, because as we go through this, you'll see more and more what I mean by that steady state. And if you can keep it even, it's an easier climb than if you're just accelerate, slow down, accelerate, pop, fall off the back, brace over, 2 laps to go. That's what we're trying to avoid.
On a steady climb, what's the difference between somebody who weighs 90 kilograms and somebody who weighs 60 kilograms?
Yeah, so obviously,
30 kilograms.
There is going to be some of that, and we'll regroup at the bottom. So I do expect us to get spread out a little bit. I'm not worried as much on the climb about staying together, because obviously at 2.0, the 60ers are going to kind of go off the front. I'm just right now focused on just the feeling of that steady state and trying to be consistent. All right, so let's get this up to a 2.0 now. Because I do want to carry some momentum into this climb. So we've talked to other classes quite a bit about momentum going into a climb, and that's pretty important. If you don't have that momentum, you just lose your speed right away. And while we're not worried today about speed, if you don't carry that into the climb, regardless of the power you start putting out, you're working from somewhat of a deficit if someone has that momentum going into the climb. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, good. So let's hold our nice 2.0 here. Steady climbing now. Just keep it nice, easy 2.0. Let's not try to blow it up. Let's work on, hopefully we'll stay somewhat together. Again, we'll regroup at the bottom. Very nice. Although I would appreciate if you all stay in your saddles right now. Keep it nice steady.
Yeah, this is a big group.
Some of your avatars are out of the saddle, and we don't really want that yet. So go ahead and tell them to sit down.
It's careless bike handling too.
It is, especially in this big of a group. 2.0 is still up at the very front, folks.
It's hard to climb at 2.0.
I know. The idea is focus on that pedal stroke. All right, now we can go up to 2.5. 2.5. So the idea on this, like I said, keep the RPMs a little higher. Practice a fluid, steady, consistent stroke. What you want to avoid is that where you're doing left and right bobs, like you're ducking punches. You just want to spin those legs. And when I can maintain a little higher RPM with just a small surge, I can go from a 2.3 to a 3.7, no problem. If I'm mashing, my ability to respond on a climb is a lot slower. Unless I'm out of the saddle, which again we'll get next lap. All right, let's see what we got here. Who's paying attention? We're gonna look at J-Man. Man's too low in his RPMs. VZ's good. Deirdre's good. Ridgick's a little high on the RPMs. Seth is right on the money. Let's see, Chris, good. I like that, 96 RPMs. D Bunny, perfect. Good, you guys are doing a good job. I like that. All right, up to 3.0 now. All right, bring it up to 3.0. Again, you might be able to accomplish this just by picking up your cadence. You may have to shift gears like I am right now. And for those of you who have to push out 300 watts, I'm sorry, you're going uphill. Very good. Yeah, we have a pretty good tight group. Really speaking, I mean, realistically speaking, considering we're going up a climb, I'm pretty impressed with you guys. That's pretty awesome. All right, now we got that last little lead up before our last kick upwards. I'm hoping we can get 3 climbs today, depending on time. If we can get 3, we're gonna do the second one or the third one. We'll about when we'll focus on our steady state launching into an attack. Whereas on the second climb, we're gonna practice the sitting, standing, and how we redline. The third will be the application of everything we learned. And I'll let you guys go wild in the third lap. On the third climb. Dickie, how you doing back there?
I'm okay.
So Dickie, I'm looking at your RPMs. That's really good. That's a good cadence. Just keep that up. That's pretty impressive. Nah, man, you're doing good. You're fine. I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I'm not worried so much right now about us staying as a really tight bunch on the climb. We'll try and get back together after the descent. and then we'll go from there. And we're gonna split up on the second iteration too, so don't worry about that. We'll just do our best to bunch back up. All right, good job. Remember, once you crest, down to a 1.0. So if you're on the front and you've already gone over the KOM, ease it off. If you're in the middle, keep pushing until you regroup with those in front of you. All right, good job. See ya, how you feeling? How was that?
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, I'm with the front group. I'm just coasting.
Good, good, good. Now we got a couple people back behind us, but it looks like everyone's kind of closing in right now, so it looks good. I like this group here. Thanks for the like there, Stephen Chan and Iverson Batista and the two others on Facebook. Just so you know, y'all are going to be known worldwide now for your participation on this, especially once Zwift blog puts up the video, and
Sweet.
yeah, hopefully one of y'all win. Well, obviously one of y'all are going to win something. I just don't know who.
Do you win something based per ride, or is it total classes per month?
No, so you can win something per ride. It's if you finish a Castelli ride, one of the Castelli ride series, which we have a number of them, you can you're eligible to win something. And Deirdre's won twice now. I think she's paid someone off.
Can we buy these kits that we're riding in?
You know, I'll have to check. I'm pretty sure you can, but I can check with the Castelli folks. I know you can buy the kit. Well, you can't buy the one I'm riding in right now, but you can buy the ODZ kit. But I'll have to check on the gray ones.
ODZ will be here in June.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, my wife just ordered an Odivas kit, so that's the other one that's available. It's the ODZ Ladies Only kit. Although I'm sure if a guy wanted to order it, we're not going to stop you, but...
Come on, let's stay in your lane.
Dude. All right, easy at the front there, a few of y'all. All right, so the second time we go up these S's, we're gonna continue just maintaining that steady pace. When we come close to the S's, or once we're on the S's now, we're gonna hold at 2.5. I think we got enough people on. And then we'll ease back off. But remember, the S's aren't that long, so try and do your best to keep that 2.5, and let's try to stay bunched up. So remember, if you're on these short climbs like this, these rollers, you get a draft. You know, when you're on the epic KOM, the draft is very minimal. But on these, if you stay in the bunch and if you keep your group fairly tight, you can carry a lot of speed through these very small rollers. Because let's be honest, these are rollers. They're not hard, big climbs, the S's. I'm not talking about the KOM. And that's one of the things you have to start thinking of. And if you're in a social ride, the harder group ride, or a race, about your positioning. If you're towards that front third of this group, you're not going to get any effect of the accordion. You're just going to be humming along, riding in the bunch, working not very much. And that's the idea that you can take away from this steady, consistent climbing. And on the downhills, you're going to be carrying that speed with you, which is why I put it up and down. Because it's not such a steep downhill that you're going to spin out. So you carry speed up, and then you push it back on the way down, and you maintain that constant effort. You don't burn any matches, just messing around. Works wonders. Oh, we got someone riding a little crazy. Very good. This group is looking pretty darn good on this steady climb. That's what I like to see. All right, got to watch that acceleration. We know the incline's coming up, so why are we pushing into it? We want to be steady still at this point. Think of it early in the race. Good job, Seth and B-Bunny. Good job. We did get a little strung out there, but that's not too bad. I like to see that. Very nice. We got a couple people popping arrow helmets. Remember, you're going to get to save some energy for that third lap. All right, so on lap 2 here, when we go up our KOM, all right, I'm going to ease off the pace. On lap 2 on our KOM attempt, we're going to practice coming out of the saddle. So I'm going to want you to go to a higher gear, lower cadence. So I want you to be somewhere around that 75 to 80. When I tell you to come out of the saddle, you're going to shift up 2 clicks and come out of the saddle. Trying to keep the effort only a little bit harder. So we're going to go from a 2.5 to a 3-ish zone on the first section, and then we'll ramp it up as we go a little bit. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is because when you're out of the saddle, you automatically will generate more power just because your body weight is going into the pedals. So that's why we're accounting for that, like the 2.5 to a 3 jump. But I don't want the attack yet. We'll do that later on in the climb. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, let me type it out. All right, Dave, thanks for joining for the warm-up. All right, up front, I need you to hold 1.5 because we're not at the climb yet. So the Ridgick and Corcoran, you guys are way up. Same with Devore. All right, my group back here with me, we're gonna have to pick it up a little bit. Sorry, Celia Marie.
It's okay.
We're not really chasing them, but they're down to 1.5, but I don't want to get the group too far away from us. Part of that's my fault because I slowed down while I was typing, and some folks slowed with me.
Yeah, I was giving ride-ons to everybody.
Full
That's a good
disclosure.
excuse. I got dropped in my last crit because I was trying to give people ride-ons. I didn't realize I was live.
I haven't heard that one.
I've heard man, I had a hard day at work. Man, I didn't sleep much last night, but I was busy giving ride-ons. All right.
I like it.
All right,
Totally
seated
got
at
distracted.
2.5. Seated, 2.5, 75 RPMs. All right, 2 shifts, come out of the saddle. You'll notice that your watts go up right away. Bring it right back down to 3. You should be around 60 to 70 RPMs here. Not 85, Deirdre. Deirdre just hammers away all the time. She's a beast. All right, back down. .5, that's your 75 RPMs. So you should notice that felt a little more mashy. It feels a little harder at the 75 RPMs than it does at the 90, because you're recruiting more of a power move and recruiting more effort out of your quads and glutes. All right, we're gonna go back up at 3.5 this time. All right, shift up 2, and let's come out of the saddle, 3.5. This would not be an ideal time to do it in the race because we're on a downhill, but right into here it's good as we're climbing, getting steeper. Keep it up at that 3.5, folks. Very nice. All right, back down. Now you guys should all see your heart rate coming up every time you're out of the saddle. Good, Seth's is up there.
Yep.
Talia's at 161.
Wow.
All right. Once we hit that turning back up, we're gonna come out of the saddle again. All right, out of the saddle. 3.5. We're gonna hold it here until the end. Well, to the KOM, not for the next 28 minutes. I wouldn't do that to you.
Yes, you would.
Okay, I might, but that's not the point. Not right now I would, not 28 minutes left. Next lap, possibly. Remember, use your weight on those pedals. You can bounce a little bit up and down. You really want to keep your hips as steady as possible. And you don't want to be, if you're watching a video, jumping like you do in spin class. You want that butt to hover just above the saddle. Stay out of that saddle. We're not seated yet. Once you cross the KOM, go to 1.0. Almost there. All right, good. Take a seat once you cross the KOM. Hit that 1.0. All right, so we're gonna work on this third lap is gonna be redlining and attacking. You know, so we just covered some when to sit, when to stand. We're gonna go into that a little bit more in the last KOM. But through the S's, we're gonna work on some attacking, and we're gonna work on coming up to the red line and not going over. Why? Because we're gonna red line on the KOM, and you're gonna see what happens to you. So we're gonna do some over-under betting and how many red lines it takes to blow everyone apart. So when we hit the S's this time, remember what I talked about, they're much more like just rollers. So any accelerations we do are designed to split the group up a little bit, stretch the group out more importantly, and take advantage of those who are out of position. So we want to make sure we're in a good position for one. And two, we want to make sure that we're able to respond. So how we're going to do that is, you know, on the front, which I'll try and be, depending on what everyone does, I'll tell us when to attack. We'll go from seated 2.5 to seated 3.5, and then we'll come back down. So we'll stretch the group out, slow it down, stretch it out, slow it down. We'll purposely put the accordion effect in there. But those are small efforts, but I don't want anyone going above into their red zone. So if 3.5 is too hard for you, just go up to 3. But I want you coming up close to the red line, not orange. I'm talking your red line. What's going to put you under pressure, and then we're going to come back down. And the more you can practice going up to that red line, that point of pressure, the better, because you'll teach your body to recover. What's hard is once you go, it's a very fine line to cross, and once you go over it, that's very hard to get recovered. All right, so let's stay seated. go to 2.5. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, we got a good group going here today. Everyone's bunched up. Everyone's working together. People fall off the back. Others are bringing them in. Definitely good. All right, so keep that good steady pedal motion going. Lift it to 3.5. So you can do that just by accelerating or by lifting your cadence. So if you were down in the 80s, bring it up to a 95. You don't even have to shift a gear, which gives a giveaway that you're attacking. All right, ease the 2.5 at the front. Up to 3.5. Back to 2.5. Up to 3.5. If you're observing what I'm doing, it's every time we're going up, we're lifting the pace. Every time we're going down, we're not. All right. All right, ease it off to 1.5. I know we still have one more climb, but I want to group up before we hit the KOM. So when we hit the climb, we're gonna do standing the entire time. We're gonna do a very similar thing to what we just did. Although this time I want you to try and push a little bit. Every time I say up, I'm gonna want you to accelerate past 3.5 for, you have 5 seconds, give it some gas and then settle back down to that 3.5. So one of the reasons we're doing that is because when you're on a climb, one of the most important things you can do is get that gap when you put an attack. It's a mental thing, really, because if the other person can't lift or pace like you, they could probably just claw you back, much a la Chris Froome, where they just slowly and steadily bring you back. We're gonna just attack them right now. So that's why I want you to burst. You get that gap, then you settle back to your 3.5.
So we're settling at 3.5?
Yeah, that's your settling point.
Okay.
Not yet though, we're still at 1.5 right now. So when we do our attack, I'll have you at 3.5 for a while. I'll tell you to drop down, you'll ease off to a 2.5, and then I'll tell you to attack again. Most of the time we'll be at 3.5 or attacking. The 2.5 will be slight recovery. Easy still, everyone, easy.
Seated or standing?
Sorry, what's
Standing
that?
the whole time, you said.
Yeah, standing the whole time. So think of it as if you're watching an alpine stage or, in the Giro or whatnot, when the riders are kind of standing up, looking at each other, not really going hard. And then one of the crazy people attacks from 3 wheels back. And then the other people follow them. And we'll slow down. And that's just what we'll do all the way up to KOM.
In theory.
Yeah. I think the dog that my wife is taking care of now just did something he's not supposed to. I hear him being disciplined. Alright. Start getting your gearing ready. We got a little bit more before we start to climb. Once we hit the old gas station, we come out of the saddle. So remember, out of the saddle, 2.5 until I say go. When I say go, you accelerate and then settle back at 3.5. Oh well, typo in that one, but it'll be okay. Alright, that's a tight bunch here. We got a few up front and a few off the back, but it's not too bad for a hilly route right there. Yeah, this is a little Shih Tzu, Adam, so he doesn't really go outside too much. Besides, I'm not dealing with it, so that's her issue. Alright, out of the saddle, folks. 2.5. Alright, so Chris, you've been in these classes before. When is the appropriate time to launch your attack?
When it's hard for everybody.
That's right. When does it get hard for everybody?
Just around the corner when it pitches up.
Well, but remember, there's a flat section there, so we're going to do it on this first pitch and rest on the flat. Go. Accelerate. And then bring it down to a 3.5. Ah, 3.5 is so nice here. All right, now we're coming into a flat section. So we're going to ease off, 2.5 now. All right, go. Ease off. Hope everybody's out of the saddle still. One more to go. All right, go. Very nice, we're almost done. Good. Keep holding it right here. Ease off. And get ready, one last kick. Let's go, pick it up. Then 1.0 once you cross the KOM. Good job. All right, good job. We're gonna have one more little bit. I'm gonna let you guys go nuts on the S's this time, then we'll cool down.
You can tell when I attack regardless because I have E-tap and it clunks every time I shift.
So I try to ride a gear up that I don't have to shift too much to attack. It makes it a lot harder when I'm not attacking, but when I'm attacking, it allows me to get it up there right away.
Yep,
First world
agreed.
problems.
Yeah. All right, 2 point. So on an S's here, if it's above 2%, you can go at or above FTP, not below it. If it's less than 2% to 0, it's 2.5. And if you're on a decline, going downhill, 1.0. Let's just do the S's and then we'll cool down. Sound good? You're gonna all get your chance to have fun here.
Yep.
Sounds good.
You won't be able to say that I just stymied your efforts and your desires. I'm letting you go willy-nilly. All right, a little bit left. And that's it. So we should have about 5 minutes to cool down. So make sure once we're done, if you need to, you can spend some more time cooling down. Just want to make sure no one stops immediately after we're done with the S's. If you're not on the group, don't worry. Right now, you'll just do your efforts through the S's. All right, not the S's yet. The S's start at the, once we go through the tunnel. All right, looks like we got quite a few people who were able to catch back on. That's great. All right, remember, this is not the S's yet. S's start after the tunnel. Over 2%, you need to attack. 0 to 2%, you're at 2.5. Going downhill, you're at 1.0. You can come out of the saddle or you can sit, doesn't matter. I just want you to work those hills. Attack them. All right, we are over 2%, so you should be hitting it. All right, 2 point. If you're near me, you should be 1.0 in it. This is not designed for any technique or tactic I want you to do in a race. This is just simply teaching your body to work changes of pace in the hills. Some of you guys are pedaling on the downhills hard. There we go. Coming out of the saddle to make my attack. Back down. Up. And down. Coming up on you, Deirdre. All right, let's pick it up again on this last bit of climbing. We're almost up and over the S's, and then we're cooling down. I'm gonna get you, Chris. Oh, I shouldn't have told you anything.
I saw you coming, but you called me out.
Once you clear the S's, ease up. Spin the legs out. Okay, so real quick recap for y'all. We talked about climbing. We had a couple key points. What was the first thing we worked on?
The steady.
Steady climbs.
Steady climbing. Why is it important to be steady?
Surges make you weaker.
Yeah, we just
So
saw
don't
that,
burn
right?
your matches.
We just saw that, right? That took a lot out of us doing those surges. You know, being steady, you can work together as a group, and as a group you can go faster and save that energy for later. Secondly, we hit on the sitting and standing. Key things to take away from that is you can accelerate faster on the standing, which we didn't really cover a ton, and you can use your body weight to put power into the pedals that maybe you're not necessarily expending through your glutes and quads as if you're seated. Flip side is your heart rate goes up, you can't do it as long. So weigh that out. If you sit and mash, it's a lot harder on your legs than if you spin up it. So again, some people's bodies work different, but use that into your calculation. And then lastly, as we talked about attacking and redlining, you want to make sure that when you're going to go, it's a concentrated burst, it's a go, and you want to go up to that red line and don't go over it unless you have to. If you have to, that means you're going for the win. That's when you go past that red line. But you want to push up to it, you want to play to the edge, as some people say. You know, play to that limit and then come back, recover, and go out again. It's really, really important. It really is. Because if you go over the red line too many times, or if you go too far over at once, there's no coming back. You're just done. The day will end. You'll be a sobbing ball of goo on top of your bike. You may cramp up. Then everyone hears as you fall over, screaming in pain. It's just not pretty. So that's going to be about it for us. We got about 1 minute left to cool down. I highly recommend everyone take a little more time to spin their legs out. Don't stop right away if you don't have to. I do appreciate the good effort you guys put in there. That was pretty impressive. You guys stayed together as a bunch really well. I think we got a lot of the newer riders got some benefit out of that by not getting dropped right away. So I appreciate that hard work.
Thanks, Ian, and thanks everyone.
Yeah, no worries. We will have class next week. We'll have class next week, but not the following week because I'll be out of town. I won't be able to do it. So next week we do have class. See, Marie, we do have class.
Okay, thanks.
And for those of you who like to run, there'll be an OD Zwifters running session tomorrow morning, 6:15 Eastern. Feel free to come out and join.
That's detention.
That's detention, yes. These are for the bad riders.
Didn't do your homework.
Yeah, 6:15 a.m. It's pre-detention.
What kind of bike do you suggest for the run?
What kind of bike do I suggest for the what?
For the run.
For the runs? Oh, a big wheel. Yeah, so also just for those of you who are thinking of other events, there's an ODivas this weekend, and then we have the Castelli TNT race, the Thursday Night Throwdown tomorrow. So if you want to get another shot at winning some swag, it's tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Jason Flores has the In the Feed Zone on Friday morning, which is followed right away by the Ebb, and a 1K sprint at the end of that, which I don't recommend participating in.
Long sprint.
It's a long sprint, and there's some strong boys that go do it. Fortunately, I have to work, so I can't do it. All right, folks.
I'll be busy giving ride-ons.
What's that?
I'll be busy giving ride-ons.
Yeah, it's a little late for me. It's I think I want to say it's like 8:15 or 9:15 Eastern, something like that. But all right, folks, that's it for me. I got to get eating some dinner and then get my stuff ready for tomorrow. Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks,
Bye.
Coach. Good job, everybody.